Hiya, I'm just doing a quick video on the next grief series, the next video of dealing with grief and loneliness. Series of videos I've been doing. I live on. Me and Cassie were living on his own here. We're over 100 miles away from anybody we know. Now that Cassie's gone, it's just me and the little cat. And if you were to talk to me about that when Cassie was here and present that idea to me, I'd have said, no, I won't cope. But I have. I'm coping. I'm getting there. And especially in this era, there's a lot more support out there for people. You've got to know how to use the internet, I would say, though. You know, I feel sorry for a lot of these elderly people who people call them dinosaurs, you know, the ones who don't want to use the internet. But there's still a lot of support for them as well. Just reach out, ask for help. You know, I'm no expert on the matter, but what I wanted to quickly talk about was the one of the biggest changes that we all face in our lives, not just through grief. Is a change in circumstances. I know there's people out there that love change in their life. They love to have things all you know, jumbled about a bit, and good luck to them. Great. And there's a few of us that we like, what's the word for it? We like you know the word I'm trying to find, don't you? We like the same sort of thing all the time. We're not boring. We love fun, but we feel secure when things are steady-ish. And what I'm getting at here is the grief of losing somebody in your life, whether you like it or not, is one of the it's going to present itself as one of the biggest changes that you have to deal with in your life. Changing things around, especially if you love that person and you've lived with that person and life was all to do with that person, doing things together, daily life. In my case, that was what was happening. Me and Cassie did everything. We were joined to the hip, and you know, Cassie leaving? No, Cassie passing on has given me no choice but to have to change. And because of Cassie in my life, I'm a lot more secure in myself even now. Cassie changed me. She was an amazing girl. The old me, I don't think I would have coped as well. I don't think I'd have coped as well. I'm not saying I wouldn't have coped. I don't know, but I think I would have had a lot more scars appearing. I'm not. By no means am I saying I'm dealing with this really well at all. But I'm dealing with it better than I think I would have dealt with the old me. And if you lose somebody you love, look at it this way: you loved them, you love them, they loved you, they love you. To feel grief to such an extent, I think you've got to love that person or animal, even, that, you know, I think you've got to feel love involved. I could be wrong. Can you feel grief without love? I don't know, but in my case, certainly, I love Cassie. I always will love Cassie. That doesn't mean that I can't make room for new love in my life. It just means that I love Cassie. But the change that's come on, the change that's having to come on in my life, what I'm trying to say is it's presenting itself as pain, as it seems to me like a bad thing, but I think the older we get, we realise what that saying means. Every cloud has a silver lining. Oh, that sounds like I'm saying it's a good thing that Cassie passed. No, what I mean is I can't do nothing about what's happened. Cassie's gone. I can't do nothing about it. I can't bring her back. I can do things now with my life. I don't mean I can't do nothing in my life. What I mean is the change that's come about through the grief is immense, but I can't do nothing to change that fact. That sounds strange. No, so I've got to face the fact that I'm going to face it head on. That goes for everybody going through grief. We have to adapt. If we don't adapt, I'm not too sure what happens. What happens to a person who doesn't change after losing somebody, after a death in the family, or a death of a loved one? What happens to somebody who doesn't change? Is there such a person? Surely we all change, don't we? If we don't change and we stick in one place, I think we're just going to hurt and hurt and hurt all the time. I mean, when the first day Cassie went, it was a blur. I was numb. The second or third day, the pain started to kick in, and I realised that it was such a traumatic experience that it caused me to feel real shock, a real shock to the system, but similar to a person who's in a car crash, or somebody who's been in an accident of some sort, and the people rally around and say they're in shock. They're in shock, and there's a real physical thing to shock, isn't there? There was with me. I was in shock, and anybody's going through grief, thinking that shock feeling is going to last forever. No, it won't. Whether we decide to change our lives or not, that's one thing that will pass. The shock will pass. You're not going to be left with joy. You're going to be left with an empty feeling of pain as well. But the shock will pass. That's like a chemical reaction in the body. And the shock has passed. And I can relive the shock feeling by thinking about things, which I have been doing about an hour ago. I relived the moment it happened. It was awful. I'm hoping, I'm pretty sure, 100% sure almost, that for Cassie it was pretty quick. I don't really think she knew what was happening. She was aware that she was feeling poorly the last couple of minutes. But I say the last couple of minutes, that 2 minutes before Cassie passed, she was laughing and joking with the nurses, with the paramedics in the ambulance. She was laughing and joking, and she felt slight discomfort before she passed. She was saying that she felt dizzy, and I think her words were, "Oh, I'm keeling over," which I've heard her say before when she's tired, or when she, I've even said it. "Oh, I feel like I'm going to keel over." But there was no painful sounds. There was no. So it was quick, and then she was unconscious. I was screaming at her to come out of the unconsciousness, but she never did. So the experience, hopefully for Cassie then, was a lot more pleasant than what happened, what I saw and what happened, what happened to me. I sound selfish, but what I mean is the next 2, 3, 4 hours after that was so extreme for me that I was put into a deep shock. I remember bits and pieces of who I talked to and some lovely people who were holding my hand and whatnot, but I just wasn't there really. I was begging for it. I remember begging the nurses to bring her back I remember the nurse telling me that she wasn't going to come back. Unfortunately, they hadn't been able to bring her back. And she was smiling, talking to me. Now, don't think I know she wasn't smiling to me because she thought it was funny or anything. It's her job. She probably tells several people some days. She can't sit there and she wasn't going to fake a false feeling to me. I can tell that. Anyway, I'm going to break this video off now, but I'm going to continue this one and join them together because I've put my tea on. Right, speak to you in a bit. Bye.